John and Lisa, along with their teenage children Emma and Max, were excited about their move to the countryside. The hustle and bustle of the city had worn them down, and they longed for the tranquility of nature. They found the perfect house near a dense forest called Whispering Woods, named for the peculiar sounds locals claimed it made at night. Despite warnings from their new neighbors about strange occurrences and disappearances linked to the forest, the family dismissed them as local superstitions. They were eager to start their new life, embracing the change with open arms. The first few days were idyllic. The family settled into their new home, enjoying the peace and quiet. But as the sun set, the woods came alive with whispers. At first, it was barely noticeable, like the rustling of leaves. But soon, the whispers grew louder, almost as if they were calling out to them. Emma and Max were the first to notice. They found strange symbols carved into the trees near the edge of the woods. Intrigued, they decided to investigate further, despite their parents' warnings to stay close to the house. One evening, while exploring, they stumbled upon an old abandoned cabin deep in the forest. Inside, they found cryptic carvings and strange artifacts, including a worn-out diary that seemed to be written by a previous resident. Back at the house, Emma and Max showed the diary to their parents. Lisa began reading it aloud. The entries were filled with descriptions of rituals and sacrifices, hinting at a dark history. The previous resident spoke of malevolent spirits that haunted the woods, luring people in and trapping their souls. "This is just someone's idea of a joke," John said, trying to ease the tension. But the unease was palpable. That night, Emma began to hear her name whispered in the darkness. Shadows moved just out of sight, and she felt a constant chill, as if someone was watching her. Max experienced similar occurrences, but he brushed them off, trying to stay brave. As days passed, Emma's behavior changed. She became withdrawn, her eyes hollow and distant. Lisa grew increasingly worried and decided to seek help from a local historian, hoping to find more about the forest's history. The historian, an elderly man named Mr. Whitaker, listened intently as Lisa recounted their experiences. He revealed that the forest had a dark past, dating back centuries. It was a place of ancient rituals where spirits were summoned and bound to protect a powerful relic hidden in the woods. The spirits were vengeful and sought to trap anyone who ventured too close. Mr. Whitaker explained that the only way to save Emma was to perform a counter-ritual at the heart of the forest, where the spirit's power was strongest. He provided Lisa with an old book containing the necessary incantations and warned her of the dangers. The family prepared for the ritual, gathering the required items and steeling themselves for the task ahead. They knew they had to act quickly, as Emma's condition worsened with each passing day. On the night of the ritual, the family ventured into the forest, following the whispers that seemed to guide them. The air grew colder and the shadows deepened. The woods seemed to close in around them, the whispers turning into eerie chants. They reached the heart of the forest, where the old cabin stood. The atmosphere was thick with malevolence, and the ground trembled as they began the ritual. John and Max stood guard, fending off the spirits that attacked with increasing ferocity. Lisa chanted the incantations, her voice steady despite the chaos around her. The spirits, desperate to stop them, took on grotesque forms, attacking with relentless fury. Emma, though weak, joined in, her voice adding strength to the ritual. Max discovered he had a unique connection to the forest, a gift from his ancestors who once lived in the area. He used this connection to weaken the spirits, giving his family the upper hand. As the ritual reached its climax, the spirits' attacks grew more violent. John and Max fought with all their might, while Lisa and Emma focused on the final incantation, The ground shook, and a blinding light erupted from the cabin. When the light faded, the spirits were gone, banished back to the netherworld. The air was still, and a sense of peace settled over the forest. Emma collapsed, exhausted but free from the spirit's hold. The family, battered and bruised, made their way back home. The whispers had ceased, and the forest seemed almost serene. They knew they had faced something beyond their understanding, but their bond had grown stronger through the ordeal. John and Lisa decided to stay in the house, determined not to let fear drive them away. They planted a garden near the edge of the woods, a symbol of their victory over the darkness. Emma and Max resumed their lives, though they never forgot the horrors they had faced. The whispers never returned, and the forest, once a place of terror, became a place of healing. The family lived on, forever changed by their experience, but stronger for it. And so, the Whispering Woods remained silent, its dark history buried in the past, a testament to the power of courage and the strength of family. A group of 7 friends, Jake, Emily, Lucas, Mia, Ryan, Sophie, and Ethan, set off on a road trip to a remote mountain town. They had been planning the trip for months, excited to explore the untouched beauty of nature. On their way, they took a detour following a poorly marked path that promised to be a shortcut. As they drove deeper into the woods, the path grew narrower, and the trees seemed to close in around them. The GPS lost signal, and an unsettling silence enveloped the car. Just as they were about to turn back, they stumbled upon a village that wasn't on any map. The village was eerily quiet, with old, dilapidated houses and overgrown gardens. The air was thick with an unspoken tension. Despite the unease, curiosity got the better of them. They decided to explore, hoping to find someone who could point them back to the main road. The group split up, each pair taking a different direction. Jake and Emily entered what seemed to be the village square, where a large ancient tree stood at the center. Strange symbols were carved into its bark, and the ground around it was littered with small animal bones. "This place is giving me the creeps," Emily said, clutching Jake's arm. "Let's find the others and get out of here," Jake replied, his voice betraying his own fear. As dusk fell, the group regrouped at the village square, all reporting similar strange sightings, abandoned homes with personal belongings still inside, as if the residents had left in a hurry. They decided to spend the night in one of the larger houses, hoping to leave at first light. But the night brought no peace. As they settled in, strange noises filled the air, whispers, footsteps, and distant wails. Shadows moved outside the windows, and the air grew colder. The friends huddled together, their flashlights the only source of comfort. Suddenly, the door burst open, and a frail, elderly woman stood in the doorway. Her eyes were wide with fear, and she spoke in a voice that sent chills down their spines. "You must leave this place before it's too late. They come at night, and they won't let you go." Before they could ask her any questions, the woman vanished into the darkness. The friends were left in stunned silence, the reality of their situation sinking in. They tried to leave the house, but an invisible force seemed to keep them inside. Panic set in as they realized they were trapped. Throughout the night, they experienced terrifying visions. Emily saw a figure standing at the foot of her bed, whispering her name. Lucas heard the sound of children laughing, only to find the room empty. Mia felt something cold and slimy brush against her leg, but there was nothing there. As the night wore on, the hauntings grew more intense. The friends felt as if they were being watched, hunted by unseen entities. Ryan, the skeptic of the group, finally admitted that something was terribly wrong. Desperate for answers, they decided to search the village for any clues that could help them escape. In the village library, they found old records and journals that revealed the village's dark history. Centuries ago, The villagers had made a pact with malevolent spirits in exchange for protection and prosperity. But the spirits demanded sacrifices, and the villagers paid with their lives, one by one. The friends realized that the spirits were still bound to the village, and anyone who entered became part of their eternal torment. The only way to break the curse was to destroy the ancient tree in the village square, the source of the spirits' power. Armed with this knowledge, they formulated a plan. They gathered gasoline from the abandoned houses and prepared to set the tree on fire. But the spirits sensed their intentions and attacked with full force. Shadows solidified into grotesque forms, and the air filled with ear-piercing screams. Lucas was the first to fall, dragged into the darkness by unseen hands. Sophie and Ethan fought off the spirits with everything they had, but the odds were against them. Mia, determined to see the plan through, lit a torch and sprinted towards the tree. The tree seemed to come alive, its branches reaching out to stop Mia. She dodged and weaved, finally reaching the base. She poured the gasoline and lit the fire. The flames roared to life, and the spirits shrieked in agony. The ground trembled, and the village seemed to writhe as the curse was broken. The spirits were drawn into the fire, consumed by the flames. The friends watched in awe and terror, hoping against hope that their ordeal was finally over. As dawn broke, the village was eerily quiet once more. The friends, now only 5, emerged from the house. The tree was reduced to ashes, and the oppressive atmosphere had lifted. They found the path back to the main road, their spirits weary but relieved. They didn't speak much on the drive back, each lost in their thoughts. The village had taken a toll on them, and they knew they would never be the same. The experience had bonded them in a way nothing else could, but it had also left scars that would never fully heal. As they reached civilization, they vowed never to speak of the village again, hoping to leave the horrors behind. But in the back of their minds, they knew the village would haunt them forever.